The content on this channel is for informational and educational purposes only. Please contact a professional when it comes to your financial needs. One of the comments that I got recently was asking about doing a video on stock lending with Robinhood, and I went ahead and decided to go ahead and do that today. We're going to be talking about stock lending and margin investing, what the differences are between the two in Robinhood, how this can generate passive income for yourself off of investments you already made, right here, right now on the Ujamaa Network. Let's get to it. It is important to learn more and do more every day. Now, as a question comes up, I'm going to ask questions myself so I can test my knowledge and keep this trend going. Now, when it comes to borrowing and lending your own stock, there are some requirements that Robinhood has you do so that you can start generating more income off of the things that you already own. Now, these are all strategies on how you can accomplish growing your investments faster. And I think this is just one of those things that we lack in the community is as far as education and basic understanding of what's going on. So we're going to get into the differences of those two things and what the requirements are on the Robinhood exchange. We're going to start off with stock lending. With stock lending, your portfolio has to have at least $5,000 available. That means that your stocks should value over $5,000 before you even be considered by Robinhood to for them to borrow some stocks from you to cover positions. Also, they're requiring that you have at least proof of $25,000 a year income. This is something so that you kind of know what you're doing, as well as a requirement or a suggestion that you know something about investing, some trading experience. So definitely keep those things in mind. You also have to be aware of the PDT rule. That's pattern day trading. If your account has been flagged as a PDT or a day trader, you're not going to be able to do this. All right. So if you are in violation of PDT rule, meaning that you've traded more than 4 or 5 times, you have to have $25,000 available in that account instead of 5,000. So that's one thing. So make sure you're um, eligible for that. Now to enable the stock option, this is how you go ahead and do that. From your home screen, you want to go over to account first, and then you want to select investing. Now, on the investing screen, on the top menu there, you've got your stock lending options. You want to go ahead and click on that. And this is how and where you enable stock lending. Now, keep in mind, your portfolio still has to be at $5,000 worth of value. If you're not there yet, wait until you get your cash up and then you enable it. And this is how you can generate some 15%, up to 15% on the stocks that Robinhood borrows from you in a month's time, and it's paid monthly. The requirements for margin investing are simply a bit more complicated than what we've gone through with the futures trading and or lending or your stock out to Robinhood. First off, there's a $2,000 requirement. Again, 1,000 for futures trading, about 5,000 for stock lending, and $2,000 of your individual account valuation as a requirement just to do margin trading. In addition to that margin trading, you're going to have to be able to cover margin calls. Being able to cover those margin calls, meaning that whatever you borrow, you can back up. So think of it as double the amount of what you're actually borrowing. So if you're borrowing $10,000, you want to have $20,000 in your account. That's just what it is. Anything short of that, you're probably not going to be able to engage because you also have to cover margin calls. And all of these terms that we're talking about are things you need to go over with your financial advisor. It can be done, but as you're growing your investments and thinking about getting into this, you want to make sure you're not setting yourself up for destruction. Because if a margin call happens and you don't have the funds, that's when people lose their houses because they're coming to get their money if they got sued. You have to maintain some form of assets in the app that's going to cover potential losses. Now, the gains are potentially great, but until you get those financial chops in the trading world, this is something I want you to take your time at and educate yourself, which is why you keep coming back to the channel and we'll learn together. But we're going to first grow our investments first. Make sure you keep on all of this stuff in check. Leave your questions, comments below, and I will talk to you very, very soon.